Welcome back, everybody, to the second game of day 2 of Sewn Angel Week 1 of the group stages. We are fired up. I'm joined by the big Tavi. Tavi, how are you, mate?
I'm good. I'm having a great evening. I'm kind of stuck up doing my own personal challenge in a video game, but that's not stopping me from dipping my toes into the budget battle. Yes, budget battle. This is the first time I will be casting something that's not your typical comp game. So I want to see how this pans out. It seems like everyone has like a full build though, so this artist set should be fairly contested here in this first time.
Absolutely. And I have to say, I've never really casted a match. I have seen other leagues run this Blight on this map, but I have never really casted one with this map, especially with artists. I don't think I've done an artist before, maybe once, but I tell you what, they are doing it very nicely as we're going to start off with, I don't know how to say that name, Flonica, but yeah, it's a really, it's gonna really come down. I mean, running Thrilling Tremors and
Oh.
bang, what a snipe. Yeah, it's gonna really be a test to see how well. And oh, look at the pain race right in the middle of the map. That is beautiful. That's what you need. There's a gen pumping towards bot mid, and this pain race. Do we even make this if we take a hit? Maybe. No, we're just gonna opt not to make it. Do we still make this? I don't know if we make this. We. Oh my god, we've been scammed in 4K. I think that was 99. Unless I'm blind and my eyes are deceiving me, I think that was a 99 right there. But Tavi, we've got turn back the clock to sort of, passively slow down those generators without having to go too close to them. What are your thoughts on that perk selection?
I think turn back the clock is great on artists. This build sort of just wants to be very aggressive in the chases, not really worry too much about the generators. If you wanted to do that, you'd take eruption instead of the turn back the clock or the fleeting tremors. But that is a very passive build, kind of passive aggressive in a way. That's a nice bird to get the down into our zone Adam, but that's actually 2 generators in payment for that. Actually 1 because of this pain resonance. But yeah, going into this map, I think. That was a nice chase from Flonica going into it, but the problem is, Artist is not really that strong of a map pressure killer. Even like similar to when she was released, like around when she was released, she was put into somewhat high tiers of killers, perhaps because players were not really used to looping her. But over the time, she's been put lower and lower, and I believe, Azarov's resting place is a status game on Artist, even with the tier 4 balancing that she is in, or I believe it's tier 4 balancing because maybe I'm blind. Anyway, there's an Unhook coming through. Sharkpile is going to be safe. Okay. Just barely does make that turn. And yeah, this is, I guess, the issue with Artist, although the power of the birds can be quite zoning. The Sharkpile just has to be broken. And this is 2 gens done. The reset's coming through as well onto one of our potential tunnel ads. And look at all the resources here. I feel like the palette, like the fillers in this map, because there are more of them, but they are less strong. I feel like it's better for the survivors against artists, but our survivors are doing a great job anyway without too many fillers used, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely, Tavi. I mean, I tell you what, Flo is putting on a performance, though, with these birds, hitting almost every shot, and this should be a guaranteed death here. We shouldn't muck it up, and we play beautifully, and that is what you call precision. Putting the birds down beautifully, just setting them there, and, I tell you what, these survivors are getting a lot of pressure on these gens. We have got 3 fresh hooks already. As you said, this should realistically be out, especially with the perks that we're running and the map. I think this is, because it's such a big map, it definitely does take in a lot more. You have to take in a lot more resources, but also just time moving around to generators because they're so spaced out. So on a big map like this, it can be a bit frustrating. But I tell you what, Flo is putting on a really nice performance here so far. And we do get a little bit stuck here on the Z wall, the Z wall, and we're gonna have to take chase down towards, I believe, maybe 7 or 8 here, and we're just gonna play this little filler here. I'm gonna get to the middle of the map, and I tell you what, this is what you love. Momo 7th. No, this isn't Momo 7th, but Momo is putting on a performance here. Might even make the pallet, and we do indeed, and we don't opt to greet it, which we could have, but we've gotten away. We are gonna send a bird. It has worked out. We are just gonna take the M1 on to Cinia. Now, I tell you what, these survivors, great coordination, but even better birds. That is insane. That bird placement and the bird timing is ridiculous. I don't think I've genuinely seen as many hits from an artist like that before. And sorry, if we could just flick back to that survivor we were looking at, streamer. That is the what effect is that? Is that elusive or something? What does that do?
That is in fact elusive. So our survivor is not leaving scratches, not leaving blood, and not leaving grunts of pain because of self-preservation. One of those perks you don't see on the higher tier killer sets, but on a killer like Artist, on lower tier killers, you can get a lot of value out of it from just the nice amount of stealthing that you can do. Even if you just get chased after self-preservation activates, it's going to be a lot harder for the killer to chase you. You know, there's no scratch marks. And there's also grunts of pain in the audio cue, so you have to like pretty much rely on footsteps and just visual. And so yeah, anyway, Flonica doesn't really care about that though. It's just continuing around the map. I think this is actually a pretty critical position for our survivors and for our killer, because this is where things could go really bad pretty quickly if survivors just do not have a long chase, because they're 3 injured, we have 1 healthy working a generator. Flonica knows they're here because of the killer instinct that the bird gave, but what can you do about it? They're across the entire map. You can give them a bird, but there's a locker nearby. You can get rid of that very, very quickly, and Flonica is just not able to really secure much pressure. Here comes the first pick, I believe, for quite a while in this trial, and it seems like they're also working Shack. Birds do connect, but of course Shack has lockers, so that's just going to be cleansed immediately, and an attempted kind of double bird as well. Catch the tunnel out yet again, but still, Artist, you have to walk on 2 feet to get around. No movements. Oh. Okay, well, you do have to walk on 2 feet, but if the survivor runs into you, that is a free down. And that is a really huge momentum shift for Flonica, because suddenly this tunnel out is secured, and Thrilling Tremors also activates, so now our killer should know kind of where everyone is. And yeah, it could potentially secure something if only Artist is fast enough. And I'm actually surprised to see that survivors are running away from the generator. I'm not sure if they could have committed that hassle, but it was oh, they didn't even pop 1 generator. Wait, I thought Hanato popped the gen, but I got pain. There's something. It just didn't pop or something.
Yeah, absolutely, Tavi. And I think, I mean, unfortunately, Cinia just got caught a little lost there. Maybe he lost sight of the killer and just got nervous and literally jumped down. It could have been as simple as that. But there we go. We're going to swing through. That'll be a gem pop in the background from the big Renato. Now, no pain rays left on this survivor. There's the final gen getting worked. This is where you play. Now, Tavi, I'll ask you in a second, but before I get to that, I mean, this is looking really... It's what, we're at 3, 4, 5. We're at 6 stages at the moment. The question is, for you, mate, is... Gee, what was the question? I had the question in my head just a second ago. Do they play for this unhook, or do they just send it out?
I don't know. I think they have to try both, because I think both the gates were on the top side, so they had to play for unhook. Pretty much, because, you know, especially with this call out coming through, you know, they should be on the unhook. Actually on the gate, and then look at the unhook. But yeah, it doesn't really matter, because the fresh hook being secured here is worth quite a lot of points into the second half of this set. You know, that's 3 points. So I just can't really do any... Wait, hold on. I thought the gates were both on the top side, but I guess maybe not. Our survivor just decided to leave, and that's an additional stage, I guess, for Flonica to just to have in the back pocket. So that is a final result of, I believe, 10 stages. Just really solid result for Artists. I've seen a few 4K ones, but it's a lot more common to see mid to high stages on Artists. So 10 stages, I think Flonica will be pretty happy with that. And I don't think the build was anything too insane either, so I think our survivors into the next trial Welcome back, everyone, to the second game for tonight. So, Nyx just scored a 10 stage full fresh on the artists just then. That was a pretty incredible game, I'd say, from their killer. But now it's going to be Momo from Celestial to try and take that away. And maybe they can get 11 stage full fresh. That's a very difficult result, I would say, on the artist. Of course, Nyx did pick his killer, but. Okay, Momo's got a very spicy build coming into this, so I want to see how this turns out. So look at that. Look at this build. I love it.
I mean, as some would say, is this Sir Smonk playing? Getting very, very different with the builds running, and I will say, the pain res, I mean, it's a strong build, and look at that. That is what you need if you're chasing 10 stage 4 fresh. You need to get fast downs and have a very quick first find, and don't get me wrong, I mean, these survivors definitely are experienced. We've seen them before, and this will be a down instantly, though. This is not what you want if you're on the survivors. You need to get, what, 9 stages out that door, and, no, not 9 stages, what am I saying, like 4 stages, something like that. I don't even know what the math is. I'm not very great at math, but the point that I'm trying to make is 3 stages out the door, and you should be fine. That's a pain res, nice and early. Look, this is actually a really good start. A really good start. We're running some strong builds on the side of survivors as well. The Lithe. This will be a very equal contest, I believe. And you know, we probably will just hold this top side 3-gen. We even have a mid-gen as well. So this is sort of like a 4-gen top, and this is what you love to see. And we're trying to sneak behind and get this unhook. But overall, so far, so good. A bit of pressure going on. I assume if we can get a look at the Renato and the Nancy, I believe they'll be working bot gens. I wouldn't be too surprised. Yes, so there's a bottom gen, there's a bottom gen. Yep, it doesn't really affect that here. So obviously 2 gens will be a pain in the bum, but at the end, So is sneaking up for this save, and we have tried to send it in a little bit. Have the scratch marks got the better of us? Now, if we can snipe this before we go second, this would be really, really good. So we do know that there's a survivor sent in, and we don't even notice, and bang! That's what's happened. So a Hasso moment right there has happened. We've looked away for a couple of seconds, and the unhook has come in just before we go to second. That is ridiculous. We are now going to just try and body block the big L'Oreal, but I mean, yeah, this is problematic here. We're letting them go, not letting them go second stage. I mean, very nicely done from So though to, you know, get that unhook and get it out the way, nice and early well before we actually went to second stage. So I do think Momo did get a little bit nervous there and just thought I have a bit of time to check, but we are lasting here for a while. And there's the coup, and no, we do not. No, it's not going to work today. Do we get value here from Coup de Grace though? Bang! We do hit the Renato. What a hit tank coming in right there from Cam. So very nicely done, but there's the hit with the crows onto the first onto Ace, to L'Oreal. I don't know how to say the name, I'll just call him Ace, but yeah, I tell you what, this is a really good start from the survivors. Beautiful start, in fact. I should say, it just gets even better, Tavi. The coordination on this team is insane. They are popping off right here. They are locked and loaded. So's gonna get hit with the birds now. Tavi, what do you do here when you're Momo? You'd be under the pump here, realistically. And oh my god,
I don't know how that bird can hit, and I feel like Momo's kind of getting scammed. Number one, what you called the Hasso moments happens with the unhook just right under his nose, and then suddenly this chase onto Lavale just goes really south. Opts to leave that and get scammed from So, because So just somehow dodges the birds like every time. So it's gonna make their way all the way to this bot side of the map and see what they can do out here. There is a TL here. I don't think there's much else to work with, so they will be going down, but the amount of time that was bought just from that first hook to now this hook is incredible. That camp coming through from Momo, that pretty much had to force a trade, or at least force a second stage, but because of that last second unhook, they already committed like half a generator's worth of time for one survivor, and there were 2 survivors on generators, so it costed so much time. The 3rd generator of the trial pops, the reset also comes through on to Lavale, and now this hook actually has to be left because there is actually a forge on top side. So funnily enough, I think Momo still has really, really good chances despite this bad early game coming through by them. It's just unfortunate for what happened there on the top side. But they're returning to the top side. They have to try defend this 4-gen for their life to try and take away the first tag. Here comes a coup de grace. It's going to secure the first tag onto Cammy. We do know he has head on, so there's not going to be light. I was wrong actually. The Artist is a tier 3 killer, not a tier 4 killer, so there are exhaustions available. But Cammy can just make it all the way to the bot side, just because, you know, Artist has to walk them down, and that's more than enough distance. The Veil's also going to get spotted here on this mid-gen, and so does Maya, but there's still one survivor who needs to be accounted for, just so. Probably resetting on this top side, so and on the bot side, so I would assume that Momo is kind of just ready and available to chase these survivors. That is an incredible coup coming through, and I don't think Maya expected I think they would have made that pallet, so they're just maybe not trusting the ping to happen. But look at that, it doesn't really matter because all 4 survivors are here resetting, and because of no regression perks on Momo, they can't really exploit this. You don't really want to chase here, but you have to, because all the survivors are here, and you have to try something before this game falls apart. 2 stations on the board right now for Momo. Something could still happen there, because Artist, you know, you can get 2 tapped. I'm not sure if our survivors will let that happen though, so.
Yeah, I think from the state we're in, we do get a little caught with our pants down there, but unfortunate. But that doesn't matter because there's about 2 survivors on the bottom of the map. We do catch another serve out here, so Sloppy Butcher would be a great perk at this point in time, just to sort of counter all the healing. But I will say this, Tavi, you're right. Having this 4-gen top, and hold on, here's the conga line. We've got a lot of people lining up here. This is diabolical. We're trying to send it towards the top side of the map. I don't know if this is the right play. You want to take a hit and go bottom. We did just see L'Oreal run towards the top side. But, yeah, I mean, look, that being said, yeah, I think... call me out if you want, Tavi. Sloppy Butcher on the Artist. What are your thoughts, mate?
No. Look, I think Sloppy Butcher Artist gives me the, you know, Sloppy Butcher Demogorgon vibes. That's what it's giving me. Look, like, you can run it. You can run, like, you can do it, sure. But, come on. Look, it is funny because it would have actually got a fair amount of value. And hey, I was actually casting a nurse set too, where the nurse player actually put on Sloppy Butcher and got nearly got value out of it, which is insane. Anyway, Cammy goes down on this top side. This is in the 4-gen, so obviously really nice. There's a bit of an overstep, I think, in terms of aggression from our survivors. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't. It all really depends on how they decide to play out, you know, from here on. The survivors are in control of this trial. Momo doesn't really have many points to work with, I would say, at this point in time, because the survivors are already so far ahead. Saying that though, So gets caught out on the choke point of this map. That is one of the main features of this map. That choke point made this really, really interesting. But yeah, it doesn't really matter though, because the survivors seem to be in control still. But it's easy. It's really, really easy to make a mistake, Hasso, even against, you know, an M1 killer like Artist. They're not actually going for this. Oh, okay, they do go for the unhook. That was the life being popped, I believe. From my yeah. So it's like it really is all in the survivor's hands, and I did say that they were probably not going to make a mistake. That's a really, really unfortunate coup de grace usage, because that probably should have hit it on Momo's end, but yeah, now the Petters, again, kind of lost the hook speed, unhooked, and you have to work for it down again, Momo, but there's really not too many opportunities to force this this 2-tap in this top side.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I think, if I'm not mistaken, so obviously we have, yeah, Nick's on the survivor. So, look, this team actually recently just won a believe it was a grand final or something that I actually casted last week, which is a really good performance from Nixon. You know, they put on a really good performance, and I tell you what, they are putting on a performance so far. Just getting resets, good with the communications, taking it slow, and this is what you love. You love a coordinated team. We saw the Diamond Dogs in the last match. They were very coordinated, took some hits, some downs. It was just a beautiful gameplay, and I think on the side of Nyx, they're playing this really well. They're obviously in a really rough spot here. They've got a 3-gen top. It's not great for them, but you know, at the end of the day, this could be 2-tap central. Now hold on, 2-tap Timmies are looking for new recruits, and this could be one right here. No, we aren't going to get 2-tap, but I tell you what, this is looking bad. If we go down right here, this is not going to be a good spot to go down, because we'll go down in the generators, and that is unfortunate. So that will be a down, but hold on, they're doubling out the last gen. It doesn't matter if they get birds, because they're going to send it. That's the last gen popping. Now you have to get sluggy here, mate. You've got to get all 4 of them on that ground. It does look like Nyx are going to take this one home, because all they need is Maya to get out that door, and they're chilling. So it doesn't really matter, but I'm sure they're going to play for the pick anyways. We do slow vault that, or fast vault that, whatever that was, medium vault. But it's not going to really matter here, because it does look problematic here, and Momo just... I mean, sorry, the ace just taking us to the edge. Probably going to force lock it here. Probably a best bet, and that's what we're going to do. And I have to say, Tavi, that might be the most painful thing in the game at the moment. Opening a locker is currently, I swear there's a glitch with it. You have to spam your space bar, and it opens really fast and shuts in your face like 5 times. And even though it wouldn't have affected the game that much, I tell you what, it is bloody annoying. So that is a beautiful result from the side of Nyx, though, taking that first set away on the Artists. They are a very confident team. Welcome back, everybody, to the next set. We have this one very fast set up for you as we load in on the Clown, aka me. We are locked in, and look, I'm not too sure what add-ons we are running. I'm sure it's the double invigoration, invigoration. I don't know how to say it. But the double intoxication, whatever it is, I assume that's what a lot of comp players run. Might be mistaken. Cheap gin bottle and makeup kit. Not too sure what they do, but yeah, look, what a time to be, Tavi. We have a beautiful Clown match. I've never cast one of these, but we have the Aura add-on, and yeah, I mean, this should be good. Look, a coup de grace, eruption, pain raise. I mean, Momo might have to change this to Momo de Gras, because I'm telling you, this man is running it everywhere he goes. This is ridiculous, and I'm liking this so far. We aren't going to stand at the pallet for too long, and going to opt to just leave here and spot out our next survivor who's going to chuck a bottle on, and we're going to try and short swing there. And now I do have confirmation, shout out to the ref. So the invigoration by 2 seconds is the makeup kit, and then the cheap gin bottle increases the Clown's invigoration by 3%. So unless I'm smashed, they do almost the identical thing, except it's longer, something like that. I have no idea, to be brutally honest. But yeah, we are on track here. We are committing. There's the first gen going. We are going to play this pallet. Going to just send it across straight away, and bang, grabbed. That'll be our grab, and our pain res not too bad towards unless they've switched the maps again. I believe this is 11 on the map, but very nicely done here. And look, the pressure from Nyx. This team is insane with their gem pressure. Like I said, if anyone joining, I recently casted their grand final against, not too sure who it was, but it was an incredible matchup, and I really did enjoy it, and there's no doubt about that. And they just were so locked in with their, you know, with how they were playing, and they were so gen efficient. So, you know, there's no doubt about that. And that being said, I mean, Tavi, what are your thoughts so far?
I'm very intrigued by how Momo is playing this game. In the past, you would see Clowns really spam the purple bottles a lot, but I think they did give the add-on a bit of nerf. By the way, there is also coup de grace on this build, but no corrupt. I would like to add that. There's no corrupt on these builds.
Oh, what? Oh, there's not. I didn't see that.
That is a very interesting decision because corrupt is $1. So not bringing corrupt means that you are sacrificing corrupt for something that you think is worth more money, and you have to pay for it. But yeah, I can understand I can definitely understand the idea of the build. I'm just not sure if I feel like corrupt on every set makes sense considering it's $1. Anyway, he's gonna take the chase on Shaq. As I was saying, the purple bottles used to be spammed a lot, but this build here is double yellow bottle. And as Hasso was saying before, they do pretty much the exact same thing that the purple bottle did, except for the killer instead of the survivors. So like, instead of slowing the survivors down and making the duration of the slow longer, it increases the duration of the haste and increases the haste that's given. So I think that's what Momo's trying to do. Like, he's trying to really apply the yellow bottle buffs and trying to get the long hits with the coup de grace and get value out of that. But it makes sense. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. It's just yeah, I'm just interested to see how that works out because I've always seen kind of the purple bottle. By the way, that's a trade coming through. Kami's going to get off the hook. That's a nice purple bottle just to deny more distance. And that's 3 bottles being used. Somehow that invigoration comes through on the clown. And suddenly Momo is getting a tunnel out. This is 2 gens left. And man, you don't have dead hard, sir. So that is going to be a down. No DS, of course. This is a tier 4 killer. And we are going straight back onto the hook for Kami. So just like that, despite Nick's, putting a few resources into this unhook, that is going to be the death. But for what payment? They have been seeing the gens quite diligently. I have to agree with that, Hasso. There's 2 gens remaining in this trial. However, it is a clown, so chases realistically should not take that long. Oh my god! What a swing for coup de grace! Unfortunate that didn't connect. I feel like maybe with the yellow bottle that had some potential, but unfortunately. What the hell? That's just, oh my gosh, that was a swing from Narnia. Gosh, that hit that. But yeah, that's
yeah.
Wow.
I think it's. Look, I have to agree with you. I don't know what the play is without corrupt. On a killer, that is bound to be stages. I don't understand if it is the right play or if it's not the right play. But I do feel like it's. If we have 1 gen pop, realistically, we still have a chance to get high stages. We've gone for another coup swing, and it's not going to work out. There's the next gen popping. Now, the real question is, I mean, the Sloppy Butcher applied to 2 survivors at the moment. We did see So wrapping towards 6. That'll probably meet up with Maya around 7 for a reset. But I have to say, yeah, this goes down and we get a good pain raise. There's the coup coming in. Bang, there's a pain raise right there as well, I'm pretty sure. No, we're setting up for the unhook. So, yeah, Tavi. No corrupt. I know we've spoken about it a little bit, but it is pretty detrimental not to have it on a killer that is, you know, it's not like a Dread Jet where you have really good mobility. It's, you know, it's almost a perk that is, it's almost a locked-in perk for every comp game. Corrupt. It's almost used in every single comp game. I wouldn't say you very rarely, but you rarely see no corrupt. Like, it's not something that everyone does. You see it, you know, occasionally some people don't run corrupt, but, you know, if they have a fast, quick chase at the start. But I tell you what, on Clown, what are your thoughts on that?
I think, actually, it is a valid pick. Again, I was more just concerned about the fact that you have to pay for your perks, you know, and corrupt is so cheap that you might as well just bring it to everything. But that being said, Sloppy Butcher's really paying off dividends right now. Gets the second down into Lavale. Apply Sloppy to them. Maya gets picked up in the distance, but Sloppy Butcher yet again is applied to them too. And this last generator, however close to being completed, might not actually have enough progress to be fully repaired. We do see this self coming out from my healthy. That does make some sense. Actually, yeah, Momo's going to have some really ambitious plays with the bottles and the coup de grace. I feel like it's still a good idea to just keep the pallets, even though perhaps they might not be safe. There's still a really big waste of time. And he actually spots out Maya here. That was good awareness coming through. And the bottle is not going to be enough. That purple, that was just slightly That was thrown slightly too late, and suddenly Maya is still on top of this chase. Manages to make the quick and quiet. I think we'll try and make it to the jungle gym too. Will this be a fast vault? Probably that was a medium vault. But yeah, now this pallet is posing quite a lot of issues for Momo. Just has to waste a lot of time. Here comes the break, but I feel like this break should have came earlier. And look at that, both survivors reset the distance, even through the sloppy butcher. So now Momo, if they don't get the down soon, I feel like just has to leave this chase, has to leave Maya alone, and just perhaps check on the previous generators. But okay, no, but Maya tries to go jiggy away from that. That's not going to work, and they're going to get put in the hook. So yeah, luckily though for our survivors, there's no pain resonance. I do think if our survivors still play like somewhat perfect, maybe like perfectly, they have a really good chance of getting stages. But it's a clown, Hasso. It's a clown. This killer, your average chase time against this killer is in the half minute, like 30 seconds worth of time. Especially now the pallets are gone, it's gonna be a lot harder to make the chases last.
You're right. Yeah, you're very right. I think there's a lot to take out of this, especially considering that we got our death at 2 gens, and then obviously that last gen, that second last gen popped to get us to 1. But I do think overall that it's been the no corrupt may have paid off a little bit. Now, of course, we need to get this down on to So as soon as possible. But do not get me wrong, this is pain res. They realistically should pop. If we get blessed with the pain res right nearby, we could be in good chance. Oh. Hold on, stop that now, stop it now. Stop it now. Oh my goodness, they're not gonna get it in time. Now we've reloaded, that's gonna cause us to be able to pop. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, they should still pop here, but they might pop at what cost? At what cost? There goes, that'll be a 4K0 from what we are looking at right now. Tavi, what a result for no corrupt.
I think it's like no corrupt, pretty decent decision on the clown, but it's just, again, will that affect how they build the survivors perks in the future? That's perhaps the question that comes through when not being corrupt. And this case, again, has worked really nicely for Momo. I feel like every perk has done its fair share of the lifting in this trial. And we can see that in the 4K0 that's coming through, which is a very nice result on the clown. However, again, I feel like this build is somewhat expensive. We have a pain resonance, eruption, that's like $10, sloppies, probably like 3 coups also around 3, I would take a guess. So 16, that could have been perhaps reduced to 14 with 1 change out, maybe even 12 with the corrupt if that was taken. But yeah, still really nicely done. I think that, yeah, it probably won't matter those points, but maybe it will. Maybe it will. Who knows? 4K0 yet again. I'll say very, very strong result on the clown. And considering they picked the set, I feel like they will have the confidence on the survivor side to pilot this to an out. But that might not necessarily be the case, because the clown, yeah, it can go like anyway. this killer does not give you any chase opportunities if the killer is, you know, is playing to the maximum potential. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but 4K0 at least. Welcome back everyone to the second half of the clown set. So we just saw Momo take away a 4K0 on their side of the clown. I think that's a very impressive result. Actually, Lavale's been corrupt, so I wouldn't have to mention anything there. But there is a slight perk change as well. There's the turn back the clock, so I like to see that. Yeah, coup de grace as well from Lavale. So hopefully we get some bounce from that and some value, because that, I think, is what is required for this win condition. This is not an easy win condition to go for. You go for this first tag. We're just 30 seconds into the first tag. Shack's also going to be made. I feel like this first chase will be stronger from our survivors, but I just have to see how it pans out. Hasso.
Yes, sir.
What do you think? What do you think of the build? What do you think? No sloppy, no eruption, but they brought the turn back.
I mean, look, could get value here. Definitely could get value from Ku, but this is a great first chase. That is what you love to see. As you said, Tavio, 30-something seconds of chase should last. I don't know, whatever you said. Look, Painers, right off the rip. This is, honestly, the gens... Oh, that's not too bad of a 3-gem right there. Like 4 Shack and 3. I mean, it's not terrible. Not the worst, not the best. Definitely doable and holdable, though. Nice stealthing here from Dex. Laurel... look, I don't know how I feel about turn back the clock. If I'm not mistaken, I will pull up the perks here, but I do believe that... Where is it? I think it is... Eruption is $5, so turn back the clock is, what, $4. So you do save an extra $1 there. I guess the only downside is, you know, it doesn't proc all at once. You kind of on multiple gens. You have to hook someone and then you get another lot. So it's sort of like pop, the same thing. You can't pop multiple gens in 45 seconds. You can only do one. So, look, I think overall a bit of a difference on the build. And... you know, it's definitely going to come down to how these survivors play, and they're playing very well so far. Sinia's having a beautiful chase. There's the Ku. That is beautiful. That lunge attack is coming in clutch. That's what you need. And look at these survivors absolutely pumping out generators left, right, bloody center. This is what you need. It doesn't matter realistically where we hook at this point. I mean, it does, but at the same time, playing for a 4K1, this is going to be tough. You're going to have to you probably get your tunnel out here at around 2 gens remaining, if I'm not mistaken. And look at Taffy setting up for this pool. It could be the dumbest stealth I've ever seen. No, don't tell me that's working. Now, hold on. Realistically, we don't have to insta-pull if we don't want. We just wait till they get far enough away and then we can buy time. But we can leave them on hook for a little bit. And there we go. There's the unhook coming into effect. We are just going to play for a pain race here onto Dex now. Coup de grace, I'm telling you, that's twice we've gotten value from it, Tavi. The perk's doing something right, clearly.
Oh, it absolutely is getting value on the clown. Now, I think what I was thinking of, perhaps the missing link in my, like, the thing that I just remembered that has been missing from both these clown builds is actually Dragon's Grip. Now, Dragon's Grip is something you don't see too often in comp because killers usually can't make use of it. But I have seen a resurgence of Dragon's Grip on Clown and Spirit in like the past few months, and
yeah,
it's $5, sure, but there is a reason it's $5 because it's sort of broken on these killers, especially with, you know, coup de grace. Like, you can't even work a generator safely at that point. Anyway, that's just hypotheticals, of course. Lavelle did not choose that. Neither did Momo. And there's going to be the unhook in the background. The real, yeah, I think the question for this trial will really be, can the survivors kind of grind out this trial long enough for Lavelle's pressure to eventually fade off? I do say that as our timeline is being chased here, so that is kind of opposite of what should be happening for survivors, but they're trying to keep them safe. We saw a body block coming from Momo. I believe the Metal of Man is on their build, but could be wrong. Beautiful double block coming through by Momo, but that's not me. Yeah, that beautiful. That's dying. Yeah, briefly done. They're gonna make Shack, but is this gonna be enough though? Because this beautiful patience coming through. That's I'll let you take it over.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a beautiful chase. We get to give away a hit here. Momo came in for a beautiful hit tank earlier on. I think that definitely helped out Sinia here just to get a bit of momentum going with the chase, feel a bit more confident. There's the next gen popping now. Look, it is looking pretty dire here. This chase has been going on for, goodness, a minute 25 seconds minimum, and I tell you what, there's the first hit coming in. So 90 seconds in, that's a whole generator's worth of progress. It is looking pretty rough here for L'Oreal, to be brutally honest, but I do think it's definitely something that can be looked at here. I mean, a 4K one isn't out of the books, but it's very hard. And where has the killer gone? We get a little lost in the sources. We do reset in the background, so that's not to worry. But we still can play for this win, Contavi. And to be brutally honest, 5 stacks of 2, turn back the clock. It's not I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's dog shit. The split is horrible. What am I saying? It's not. I guess you can definitely movement around with your yellow bottles, but overall, it's still. The gens will eventually get enough progress to get overworked, and the killer will end up having the last gen pop. So it's really, about not committing, and there's the next coup stack coming into effect. And I'm telling you, this perk has given away so much value this game. Especially, I mean, we saw last game, Momo went on to 4K 0, but that, we saw maybe 1 or 2 uses of coup that were really effective. In this game, it seems like we've seen 3 to 5 uses, and we've stealthed this beautifully to get away. And no, Taffy, that's twice we've done a diabolical stealth, and it's worked out. Tavi, I'm telling you now, this is going to get out of control here because I reckon L'Oreal's starting to stress, can't find a survivor. Momo's been reset in the background. There's gen progress on 6. What do you do in a situation like this if you're L'Oreal?
Taffy, that... Those tire stealthing is insane coming through from them, and they're going to get away from this. Not only no chase, no tag either. Yeah. Lavelle just has to come back. I think, yeah... It is going to be actually a mental game coming through, because Lavelle knows they need pressure. They know that they have to commit to a survivor, but the survivor's not showing them. How would that make anyone feel? How would that make you feel? If you were playing the killer, you didn't see any sign of the survivors at all. The one survivor who's around here is yet again pulling off the stealth around the rock side, and Lavelle has absolutely no clue. He's just checking it. Just accepts defeat, will not continue the pursuit of the wild Taffy in this bot side. Wow, again, how would this make you feel happy? You have to look for a survivor. You can't find any trace of them. They've disappeared. You don't even know how many times they've disappeared. You don't even know how many times they've disappeared because you haven't even seen them once.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, you saw splash marks though. But can we find a survivor though? They just got oh my god, they want stealth! 4 times in a row, Hasso! 4 times in a row!
Oh my... where's the award ceremony? We will be seeing Taffy get the best stealthy moment, because that was ridiculous. That was insane right there. That's the 4th in a row. That's a game changer. Having this killer not have any idea, and here we go back with urban invasion.
It was urban invasion.
Could it be? No, it's not gonna be 5 in a row. We do catch Taffy off here, and we're just gonna have to drop this bot pallet here and sort of just accept our fate here and die on the edge of the map, which is our best bet. We don't have eruption, so it does work out, and we'll probably see it double very shortly. There's the coup coming into effect. Where's this other survivor? If we can have a look over to Momo, where are they? They're setting up for the pool, so we're not going to play for the double. I mean, if this is pain raise, it could be problems here. Now, hold on. We could just get the pain raise and send it straight to Shaq. Now, this, again, it's still not over. Realistically, a survivor has to get out. Whether they're on death hook or not, it needs to be a singular stage. Gets out the door. It's pretty straightforward, and I think knowing that gen has got progress... yeah, this is really problematic here, Tavi. I think we have to go back to that Shaq gen, and that's what we're going to opt to do and get that turn back the clock value, which will regress this gen by 10%. And hopefully we can spot out decks here if we are L'Oreal, because we know that it'll be a crucial part. But what do you think? I mean, you've almost just accepted the fact that coup is a busted perk so far. We've gotten so much value from it, but you almost have to accept that last gen is bound to pop at any given moment.
Yeah, the issue is there's just no eruption for L'Oreal, and if our survivors did go aggressive for that Shaq generator, it would be popped right now. Actually, L'Oreal is scared that the generator is being worked, so the kind of that gamble for our survivors have paid off. He's gonna quickly realize though that no one's been on the generator, can just go back to the pickup to go pain res, but he's still scared actually. He's just rotating all the way to the top side, and good thing that they sat the healthy survivor up here, because they'll be able to stealth even better. in this environment of the top side, which Taffy did just completely abuse before, but I think, yeah, Lavelle doesn't want anything of it. It's going to head back to just scout out this top side to perhaps even catch the reset, perhaps the reset location, but it will not find it. I don't think it's successful here. So yeah, it's just gonna be just scouting the area and oh, actually they're not resetting. Okay, safe play. Actually, I like that play because that is safe. It means that the survivors can rotate away from the reset location or the planned reset. They're playing this slow, and I like that because I think the way that they've been playing before, they've kind of been putting doubt in Lavale's mind, making him lose that window is diabolical. But yeah, it's just making Lavale really uncomfortable and forcing them to perhaps just commit to where the locations perhaps they don't want to. And yeah, it's gonna head back to this gen though. Funny thing is, I feel like Shaq should be worked here. No, don't talk. No.
I mean,
this is not happening again. This is not happening again. No way.
It's not Taffy this time. It isn't Taffy, but
oh my god, actually worked again.
It did work again.
That is like, out of 7 times Lavale's gone to that corner, he has found the survivor 1 time.
Again. Not again.
Okay, this is gonna be the 8th time, by the way. This is the 8th time. I think he did actually spot the Adams cape there, but maybe that was just me tweaking there. That's 8 times. Only found the survivor there once.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
Yeah. I mean, you can only kick a gen so many times. I'm not too sure how many it is. Maybe 8, 10, something like that. I don't actually know the exact, but there's coup coming into effect. But that is a beautiful death location, and you know, the pressure is just getting to them, and that gen should pop realistically. Not too sure if, I mean, they're just going to double it out. I'm not sure if we can get a look over to the other survivor. No, what's the other survivor, the injured one, doing? So a stealthing for the pool. I actually like this because that last gen will pop and we'll get the unhook. So realistically, this will definitely be outs here, and that's the final gen going. And all we need is 1 stage out the door to win. And I tell you what, these survivors have played this 3v1 Tavi exceptionally well. There's no doubt about that. They've almost just perfected it. Given away some tags, but just played beautifully. And look at that, a beautiful double vault coming in, and we're gone. Gotten a little bit lost, trying to hide in the corner there from the killer, but being caught. So, you know, we probably will just let Momo die here, even though he is a fresh. I don't think there's any point in the head-on coming in. Were they in that locker or the other one? And no idea. That was actually another survivor. That was Dex. So we're gonna go and commit to Dex instead. And we have used a couple of bottles. One's run to Shaq because they know that Hatch could be in play here. So we are just probably gonna. We could pick this. Yeah, we are gonna pick this, and that'll let the big Momo get out. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. We throw a bottle. Oh, we haven't thrown the right bottle, I don't think. Maybe we don't. I don't think we make it regardless, but very nicely done. Welcome back, everybody, to the tiebreaker here on the Demogorgon. We have Celestial taking on Nyx. We have made it to the tiebreaker after Artist, which was taken by Nyx, and then Celestial taken to Clown. Very good display of games so far tonight, and you know, I'm keen for this one, Tavi. You have CT1 Demogorgon, probably my favorite map in the game. I always love watching these sets, and we just avoid the shred here. Now, Tavi, what are your thoughts on this this build that we got running?
Nice sin card there, Mr. Maya. Thoughts on the build? I'm just confirming one perk because it is okay. It is not force sensation. It's machine learning. Machine learning is an Andrew perk. That's what I picked up a few seasons ago. Or so. It's an Andrew perk, and it actually gets an insane amount of value. If it is unchanged from the last time I remember it, it's like 10% haste for 45 seconds. That's an insane amount of speed. That's going to be one of the fastest Demogorgons in the entire universe. On the McMillan.
Yeah,
anyway, it's gonna be the first time coming through, so yeah, strong start from Maya, and not even everyone's on gens, so perhaps yeah, perhaps Celestial might not be off to the best start here on this high side. Also, oh, they can unhook though. Okay,
I think Forced Hesitation, if I'm not mistaken, if I do remember this perk, 60 seconds of 8% haste and 60 seconds of undetectable. So it is a busted perk if you get value from it. So especially on a killer like this, where it's sort of you sneak up on survivors, especially when you get undetectable from your portals, that is definitely a benefit that you get, and having it for 60 seconds is just incredible. But I tell you what, here we are taking the chase here onto this survivor. Look, there's the down. I'm gonna have to restart the screen share because it is a little glitch for me at the moment. So just give me 1 sec. But yeah, overall, Tavi, I have to say, I mean, these survivors popped a gen. They've got a good amount of gen progress. Dex is now gone second. I mean, turn back the clock. It's a perk. There's no doubt about that. You get value from it from just walking up to a generator and hitting it, so it's very nice. There's a hit right over the pallet, beautifully done from Maya. Now, I only figured out a week ago that Maya was actually a killer player. Did not know this at all, and you know, she performed very well. And you know, playing on against teams like this that you know, have been around for a little bit. I don't know how long Celestial have been around for, but I've seen a few of these guys' names before, and I think that definitely says something about who they are and how long they've been playing the game for. So, you know, it is really good, and we've just missed the dash attack here. And I tell you what, we've just vaulted it straight away. This is beautiful right here, and it's giving me some beautiful flashbacks to a Div 2 game. I can't remember what it was, but just a beautiful long chase to buy time. And these survivors do just have spent clearly a fair bit of money on their serve perks. So I love this so far. But machine learning coming in, not yet, but hopefully we get some value from it, because it would be quite disappointing, Tavi, if we don't get any value from it.
To me, it's a little bit counterintuitive to bring machine learning and not bring eruption.
Yes,
because
agreed.
eruption encourages you to kick the generator.
Yeah.
Machine learning encourages you to kick the generator. Let's just pair A with B. You know, that's why eruption Call of Brine, I think, very popular combo. Like, you kick the gen, you might like dilly-dally a bit. You get value from both perks after kicking the gen. This one, you don't really technically get value from machine learning after kicking multiple gens, but at least it's applied to the generator, and you won't have to go out of your way to then apply it. So as of right now, it's kind of just been a dead perk, hopefully, as you were saying, Hasso, hopefully for all of us, as a viewing experience, we get to see the speedy demo come into play here. Yeah, with that being said, survivors, I feel like, should be on the back foot here. They have the tunnel out 2 gens. Although that tunnel out chase was a good 30 to 40 seconds, I don't really know if it's enough to just make up for the early game. They went for an early unhook. They had the person who was unhooking stealthing in the locker around main door. They weren't gens. And that's kind of just showing with, well, 2 gens remaining. So it's, yeah, a bit of a precarious position for us survivors of Celestial, I would say. They do need to have at least one chase last a while, because if they want to walk away from this Demogorgon set with a strong run, they will need more time to work and repair the generators. That is going to be the down coming through. For some reason, I keep on forgetting Senior's name, but yeah, they're going to go down. Painless will be applied, and we're still sort of yet to see any sign of machine learning being applied, but I think here's the first opportunity. Let's go, Hasso. No, hold on, they're not kicking the gen. No, they're not kicking the gen. I don't think it matters, because none of these gens are close to popping. So realistically, you can just get away with not really popping a gen, kicking a gen for a while. No, why are we edge map? Hold on, why? I've been edge map again. Oh no.
No. What is this stealth? There's no way. Taffy has been on the urban all night, and I'm loving every bit of it, because you're just getting value from it. And even though, you know, obviously nowhere near the killer to an extent, I think just having the ability to move around the map with, you know, while crouched at 100% speed is so valuable, especially against the demo. I mean, this perk is really strong against the Demogorgon, especially when you go to crouch and, you know, try and avoid the demo dash. So, Tavi, we've got a death, we have a stage, we have what will be a second stage shortly, but these gens are pumping. Machine learning, will we see value from it or will we not? I mean, the real question should be, I mean, was the perk ever worth bringing? It is a really odd pick, but yeah, I think you're right. There we go. So that'll be 60 seconds, I believe, of 8% haste and undetectability. So that is very strong. Now, Tavi, you did mention it earlier. Very well said. I don't think these perks synergize well at all, that being turn back the clock and machine learning. But maybe they didn't have the money to afford eruption. So that's where it sort of comes down to the fine wire. So, you know, that's a problem, but we are going to give a tag here on to Taffy. Now, Taffy is probably going to just get away here, and they are, because we take an endurance hit, but this could be problematic. We do not want to go down fast here. We need to send it all the way to the bottom side of the map. Now, Tavi, you're the man, you've been casting for a while. It's looking pretty dire here.
The haste will just allow this down to happen. Oh, that is one guinea Demogorgon to make that. Yeah, dire straits, not to, of course, make any comments. It's not that good for survivors. Okay, oh yeah, and this 3-gen, yeah, unworkable, completely unworkable in this 3v1. And Maya also spots out the Vinted here, so realistically this trial will be over fairly shortly. Yeah, just all up to the chase coming through. Taffy actually makes a vault there, bit of indecision through from Maya, but will that matter that much? Because Taffy is kind of staying around here. Maya's sniffing a rat though, because they did not rig the rat add-on. That was but okay, they do sniff the rat correctly. There is Momo. I had to take a tag. That's a beautiful dash. I'm sort of surprised to see the black heart not being picked by Maya, because I believe we got confirmation in chat before that it was the Muse Guts and not the black heart being picked. And actually, this goes for an ambitious shred here. So this is going to confirm the down onto Momo and pick up. So because of Painless should be able to stop the generator from popping, and it looks to me that yeah, Pokemon is just very near for Maya and for Nyx, which is an incredible result in Demo. Usually we see Demo gets in the singular amount of stages. Maybe you see 2 digits, very, very rarely. But yeah, looking at a 4K1, very, very strong result if you ask me, Hasso.
Yeah, I think the survivors have sort of, I don't want to say plummeted, but it did look, the Tappy stealth has not worked. For the first time, Taffy in probably 8 attempts, or the second time in 8 attempts. I mean, the record is going to die eventually, and you know, a 4K1, Tavi, I mean, this is a stages killer, by all means, and I guess it really depends on if the killer capitalizes on where the survivors make the mistakes, and you know, there's definitely some that were made, but I think overall maybe unhooking too fast. I wouldn't know the exact ins and outs, even though I'm casting the game right here, but I think it definitely, the result from where it should have been to where it is now, there's a bit of a difference sitting there. So, you know, I thought personally it was going to be out at some stage. I'm sure you would have, but yeah, I mean, I tell you what, Maya has just, he's put it on, put the performance on, and said this is my game. I'm going to try and mind game this here on the shack, and I'm not sure if we're going to vault this. We're not going to. So no Bamboozle. Of course, that is a perk that is sort of. Oh my god! Is this J Cash playing on the lineup? Because that was a diabolical hit right through the window. That was a snipe from fucking out of this world. That was diabolical. I don't know how that's connected. That is some Wesker type bullshit. I don't know how that actually made. That is absurd, Tavi.
Bro really called. He really prayed for that one. That was a hit. A hit from from somewhere near the sky. Yeah, but that's sort of it. Surely to the trial. Surely that's going to spell the end for survivors. Surely, but no, survivors still in the trial. Going for the pickup. So yeah, it's going to be, this trial will be quite extended, but I have to say, I think part of the reason why this gameplay might be coming through is because of what happened in the previous trial. Like, Celestial really showed that they could play the slow game and play that effectively to the win condition. Right now they're setting the win condition, but they are trying to pop one generator, and if they can, that would be a really, really huge improvement from a 4K1. 4K0, obviously, is much more difficult to achieve. So, they're trying to go for that. And this chase, I feel like should last, because this trial is still up. I think this turn might... Okay, it is not made. That was close, though. That was a good attempt by Momo, and I think Maya might just give up and hook here. Not really point to slug anymore. Okay, yeah. We're giving up on hooking. But I think in all this time, the gens have slowly trickled down to 0, so it still needs a miracle from our survivors, even though they are extending the trial. It's like, what for? There's not really much use if the percentages aren't being put in. So, again, still looks like a 4K1 to me. Still looks pretty locked for us, for our killer Maya, for Nyx. But yeah, maybe there's some kind of miracle chase. Maybe there's some insane RNG somewhere on the map that might allow this to happen. This unhook is actually not coming through. Did we miss his kill check on the hook? Oh dear, that is not what we wanted. And maybe, I think the hatch should be able to close in time here for Maya. So yeah, now we're just going for gates. And against the Demogorgon, I don't really think there's a way. But also, if we look at the gates, maybe we have a bit of an idea. This 1 on 9, 1 on 3. We're just sending it. Jiggy.
I mean,
yeah.
Tavi.
It's true.
It would have been hilarious, I'll say this, if Taffy was a fresh and somehow managed to stealth and got out the gate. I mean, could have, what if, how, whatever you want to say. I mean, it's, yeah, it's a 4K1 on the Demogorgon. Welcome back, everybody, to the next, or should I say, the final set matchup for Game 2 on the second day of SewnangelSeason. We have Momo here on the killer. He's been on every killer, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed, and we just did see Maya. He did put on a beautiful performance and got that 4K1 on the Demogorgon with a, you know, a build that just didn't make sense. So fair play, I guess. But this build, again, Momo opting with a bit of a stronger build. We do try to get Jiggy here, but that is not going to work out for Mayo. I thought I said Mayo for a second, but I realized it's Mayo. So this is working out pretty good for Momo if he gets it down, and he doesn't. So we do crouch out right there, and this is really... I mean, it's going to really depend on this first chase. This is what you need. If you're trying to beat the win con, you need to get down, get the first survivor down really fast so you can get that pain raise and then start to build the pressure from there. But so far, the head on that is beautifully coordinated right there, like I've stated from the very beginning of the night. There are certain teams, all these teams are beautifully coordinated, but some have just been a team solidified for a lot longer, and I think Nyx is one of those teams that have been together a lot for a lot longer, and you know, they just know when to communicate to do stuff like that, and I don't think we've seen that on the side of Celestial, any head-ons or any of those moves. I'm not too sure if they've even opted to pick any of those perks, but it's just worked out beautifully for Nyx, and they are playing this beautiful. I'm not too sure who this is as the ace here, so it is L'Oreal. So yeah, I mean, we can win this 50, we don't win it, so that's unfortunate, but I tell you what, we send it towards bottom here, and we should be in a really nice spot, Tavi.
Yeah, look at the corrupt split. This all the bottom gens are in the longest state for a kill, and of course for survivors. That is actually a successful kind of sequence there for Momo. They kill the first down, but look at how much time has elapsed in this trial. There's 2 minutes in this trial gone, and that is a lot of gen progress to try and contend with. The main difference, I think, Hasso, with the starts for these teams is not just the gen progress, But also that, like, well, okay, it's actually the gen. It's actually the gen progress. I'm gonna say there's another gen being worked, but that's also true. Yeah, I believe Nyx have 3 generators that are at least 60%. Just insane compared to the previous where we had 2. And they're also not opting to go for the early hook either. We actually find Kami here to take the body blocking. I think this is an interesting choice. I feel like our survivor had the opportunity to just play that chase out of an L tile, but Kami's taking the next chase. Main building is safe against the Demogorgon, for relatively safe, I would say. The amount of distance that can be given with the walls. So I guess Maya's out of here. Maybe just reading the mind game perfectly. Okay, well played, Maya. But I don't know if they make the turn here. This is really well done by our killer. Oh, but Maya's even more patient. Won't actually vault the window. Is going for it now. Will connect the killer, but will not be enough. But again, that chase took a long time. Even though there's one body block, they managed to reset that body block. Not only that, but reset the tunnel out, and also just continue slamming the gens and rotate off it. So this is going to be a tough trial ahead for Momo. I do want to add one thing before I pass it over to you, Hasso. That perk, this Momo guy might really be a clutch for coup de grace. Really might just have to rely on coup de grace every single. I don't know what else to say. He's going to be playing Blight on coup de grace. That's a joke.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the sloppy boy.
Yeah, the sloppy
butcher.
I'd like to hope so. That was a joke, but yeah, I mean, Eruption has been a very crucial perk for Momo throughout this whole series of matches, and I think he definitely has a lot to say about it. And I also do have to say though, coup de grace might be the most in this series underrated perk that we've seen. We have gotten so much value from coup. Whether you win the set or not, there's just been a lot of value you get from it. Of course, there's other killers that you can pick other perks that you can pick and use, but I think it's just, you know, it's really good to see that perks that don't usually get used in comp scenes are starting to get used, and that's something I love about it all. You know, you very rarely see a perk it's very uncommon, even in public matches. Coup de grace is not a common perk at all. To see it in comp is next level, so it is good to see a bit of diversity in that. And I tell you what, Maya we're not even committing Maya here, we're just going for So here, and I mean, Tavi, not opting for the tunnel out. What are your thoughts on that?
You see, that pull was really early. That was the mistake coming through by Nyx. So it would make sense if the tunnel out was actually followed through on. However, I don't think it matters, because Momo's just found the tunnel out again. This is maybe just Maya going for the final chase. Of course, Kami's here again, so shout out MVP 999 altruistic points for Mr. Kami, but yeah, Maya just has to take this chase anyway, and I think Momo would just be happy to take a free pain resonance and a free book stage alongside, you know, continuing this tunnel out. So I have to say, okay, I'm looking at that. That is the broken status effect. So I do believe, the Metal Man, Metal Man from Kami. What? Hacker Man stands another L stage against a killer. Please report this guy for using Metal, because that is a cheating perk. That's obviously not allowed to tank an additional hit, because he's obviously not tanking hits. No, it doesn't matter though. Maya's gonna get down. And yeah, suddenly look at this, Hasso. Look at this. The tunnel out's dead at 3. Kami kind of overstepped, so this pressure might just be mounting back onto Nyx, because they can't allow themselves to be eliminated so quickly. If they do, then the set goes over to Celestial. They have to pop another gen here, which it seems likely, but it's also pretty likely that, you know, that Momo can continue under this pressure and get a 4K. Just like, of what quality? And I think the quality they're looking for is the best quality. 4K2 is, of course, on the books of them. Coup de grace, again. might get a lot of value from them. They do have 4 stacks in the back pocket. Perhaps that might be the key to this upcoming chases will inevitably come. But yeah, at the moment, I think Momo's just accepting that this topside gen probably lost. Really needs to find a crucial chase though, and this is one. He's not opting to take it though.
I mean, it's the real question is, Tavi, with the split like this, is it doable to 4K2? Like that's the question you have to ask all the time. I mean, it is looking, you know, fairly. We have eruption set up, which is a good sign on 3 generators, 3 of the 4 gens, but. I mean, it really is a question to ask, is it doable to hold a split like this? And I personally don't think so. I think it's very rough to pull that off. But who's to say it's not? Who's to say it's impossible? Because I definitely don't think it is. I think if it's played correctly, you play your cards correctly, I mean, it could work out in the end, but... You know, we are opting to slug here, take our chase here onto So, and, you know, it's been a bit of back and forth with So and Momo. The chases have been incredible, and I'm telling you now, I mean, I have to give the chase, if I had to give a chase what it would be to So, I mean, he's been pinpoint perfect in almost every chase, especially in that clown one. We saw like a 90-second chase before we gave away the first tag. There's just been some really, you know, good plays coming in, and both these teams, you know, really playing, you know, they're locked in. We're burning through pallets here. We've gone through about 3 in about 14 seconds. We are going to catch L'Oreal off here, but there's the first stack of coup coming into effect. Now, I'm not too sure what we'll do here. We're going to go back towards 11. Tavi. So used to casting with Chief. Tavi, what do you do now? Gen split like this, what do you do?
I think Momo's handling this pretty well, considering that you know, the distance between these gens are pretty massive. I think our survivors should be really taking it slow though. There's no reason to really rush out the gens and give away a down like this. Momo's just gonna be really patient. Force this down, who's gonna make it certain draw. And again, I feel like this is a position where this is a position that the survivors could have avoided by playing it a little bit slower, maybe allowing the aggression to eat away the gen, but then in response to that, go for the resets and make sure that the chases can last. With this though, with this down, eruption's been procced, these gens definitely cannot pop in time. We had a rotation to the top though, so that is good positioning from our survivors of Nyx. However, again, they need they need the resets, so they're going for them now. Perhaps it's a little bit late though. I think you should be able to catch out one of the injured, but the injured's around here. No, they've disappeared off into Shack the head on. It's not going to be successful. And it's just kind of back and forth here. Finally,
there we go.
To pick up, but it's
PR?
No, it's not. No. So it's going to secure the gen, but then this one, on the other hand, this one now gets paid res. And now this one can be defended. So like there is still quite a lot of game left for both of these sides. It's still dynamic. There's still chances for our killer despite the high amount of progress around the map. I just think for those few seconds though, Hasso, while the injuries were here, by the way, that's another injury coming down. I feel like, yeah, they should have just reset the injuries a little bit earlier. Just oh, maybe they don't have to.
Tavi lagging?
I like.
Not too sure, but yeah, I mean, look, if we can get a spectate over to the generator, what am I saying? The other survivor, the injured survivor after this chase, see what they're up to, but we are going for the unhook here, so that's what you love to see. I cannot believe I've just said the generator is terrible, so, yeah, I mean, 4K1, I have to get a ref. I'm pretty sure the ref's already explained it, but just to clarify, I'm not too sure what happens if this goes to a tie. There's the down, but if it does go to a Another top. Oh no! Hold on. Wait. That's the wrong generator.
Gen.
Wrong gen. Oh my goodness.
That's it.
That's
There's no way
it.
he
That's
gets
the
them in
game. That is the
Yeah.
game right there. That will be Knicks taking it away. A 4. I mean, it's still definitely probably will be out realistically if we slide. Oh, actually no, definitely it might not be. But
Velocity though?
yeah, Tavi. What a heartbreaking way for the big Momo, especially with how well he's played as well against such a good team. It's, you know, and how good coup de grace been for the bloke. I mean, I hope to see him pick it again. I mean, yeah, it's been incredible, and we're gonna opt to go and pick this up, which we should get in time. We'll probably split off here to try and pick L'Oreal here, so that's what we're gonna do, and just try and get a bit of distance away from the killer while we work that generator, which we do spot So. Now, what can So pull off again? We have seen some amazing chases so far. I hope I do not jinx it. We do play this very nicely. I mean, we're playing, obviously the game is over here. We have won that pallet somehow. I don't know if a bit of ping was involved there, but that was a very nice pallet vault there. And we have just shredded towards the edge of the L there. And Tavi, I mean, I have to say what a series this has been between these two teams. Even though it's over now, what a series has it been between? I mean, it's been close the whole time.
Yeah, Knicks took their set pick, Celestial took their set pick, and the demo set, I feel like, pretty close. Momo was showing a lot of potential to meet the Tycon, but also I hope I'm not like now. But yeah, there's really good potential. Really good potential to look for that 4K1 after that tunnel out of 2, but Survivors just kept up the pressure. It was just enough to drag it over the line, despite what I would have what I thought were just maybe a few mistakes. But anyway, it's enough. They take away the victory. It's looking like at the moment 10 stages, probably going to go to 8, which is still a fairly alright result on the Demogorgon. Plenty enough if you're looking for 4K1. And yeah, Knicks take it away 2-1. I'm actually happy to see Celestial take away a set from Knicks. You know, Knicks, I've seen them play.
Yeah.
They have a very solid roster, and there's no surprise they took set 1. I think it's a bit more of a surprise when Momo bit back, got the 4K0 on Clown.
With no corrupt on a Clown.
Yeah, no corrupt too. Good point. No corrupt. Also had the double invigoration add-on.
Yeah.
And by the way, yet again, tenacity value. This is why I was saying it's probably 8 stages, but Momo's actually picked onto that. W game sense coming through. That's going to secure 10 stages. Very impressive result anyway on the demo, despite not taking the set. And yeah, I think that 4K0 on Clown really shook up the works for Knicks. It's quite fortunate for them that they could take away, that Maya could take away a 4K1 in their demo set. Otherwise, they could have actually been looking pretty bad, because yeah, 10 stages, again, Momo kind of showing up on the killer. That was a solid result. If only the Survivors could have gotten perhaps that last gen done, then we could have seen something else, but it is what it is.